Let's talk about static grass. For years I've been trying to figure out a good DIY alternative, but honestly I haven't been able to achieve a result that's even close to as good as commercially available products. Your average static grass, at least here in South Africa, is about $1 per 10 grams. That sounds quite expensive, so trying to find a good DIY alternative seems like a good way to save some money. But the thing is, static grass is very light, and 10 grams is actually quite a lot. One of the most common DIY methods is coloring this yarn and chopping it up into tiny bits. But it takes a long time to make and it forms clumps when you try to use it in a static grass applicator. In one of my older videos, someone suggested buying a cheap wig and chopping it up into small pieces. I haven't tried it myself, but I did look at some prices of wigs that could maybe work for static grass, and honestly I don't think it's worth spending the money on the wig and still having to do all the effort of chopping it up and getting it to the right color. Static grass only really looks good when you layer it, using a few different colors and lengths. What makes static grass expensive isn't that one bag costs a lot. The problem is, if you want nice variation, you need a bunch of different colors and lengths. And you can't buy small amounts, you usually have to buy a full 60-gram bag of each color. So here's what you can do to get the best of both worlds, kind of. Buy 4 bags of grass. You can pick whichever ones you want, but try to match the main colors for the season you are modeling. For example, 2 variations of 2mm grass, one nice green color and the other more straw colored. And then for the other 2 bags get basically the same colors but in 6mm instead of 2mm. This lets you do some nice layering and achieve a realistic result, while only investing in 4 bags of static grass. Another option is to just buy a single color but in different lengths, and then airbrush it after you apply it. I don't have an airbrush yet, so I can't really do this, but I've seen some people like Nightshift get really realistic results with this method. Static grass applicators can also be a bit of an investment. There are ways to make your own, but honestly, a store-bought one will last for decades, and they are not that expensive. It's kind of like buying a printer. The printer itself isn't that expensive, but the ink is where the costs add up over time. Same thing here, the applicator can last decades, but you'll keep buying new grass. That's where it gets expensive. Anyway, like I was saying, with the 4 different grasses you can achieve a lot. But to take things to the next level, I like to use DIY techniques to add that extra bit of randomness and variation.
You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me.
For random longer grass tufts, I use the colored twine method. For coloring them, I use these paint pigments. It's the same stuff they use to mix custom colors for wall paints. I just use a tweezer and cut small pieces and plant them using wood glue. After watching some Boomer diorama videos, I think matte medium would be better for this, but I haven't found it for sale yet in my area. So in conclusion, I think the power lies in combining DIY methods and commercial products. It's just about how much time you are willing to spend to save a few dollars and how much you care about how realistic the result is. If you just want to add a small amount of grass on the base of a miniature, then the DIY methods can work perfectly fine. But if you are more serious about making very realistic grass fields, then you are basically only left with the option to buy static grass and use some DIY methods for a bit of extra variation. But let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I know the grass looks a bit thin at the moment, but I don't want to add too much grass because I want to add some trees and smaller vegetation next. By the way, I wanted to film some examples of what I'm talking about in the video, but I had the flu all week and I didn't manage to achieve everything I wanted, but I'm not gonna let perfectionism stop me from uploading the video. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.